तेरा किया है, कृपा हुई है ऐसी, बिन मांगे सब दिया है.
Jai Mohanji, namaste everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. Before we do start, we'd like to do invocation of our beloved Guruji, offering him this humble experience sharing, which is only through the grace of him as well as our tradition. So if you could please close your eyes, sit with your back straight, and you're more than welcome to recite the invocation with us. Om Para Brahmaya Vedmahi Shiva Tattvaya Dhimahi Tano Mohan Prachodayat. Om Para Brahmaya Vidmahi Shiva Tattvaya Dhimahi Tano Mohan Prachodayat. Om Para Brahmaya Vidmahi Shiva Tattvaya Dhimahi Tano Mohan Prachodayat. Om Gam Ganeshaya Namah. Om Trayambagam Yajamahi Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarkumiva Bandhanan Mrityurmukshiyamamritat. Om Trayambagam Yajamahi Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarkumiva Bandhanan Mrityurmukshiyamamritat. Om Trayambagam Yajamahi Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarkumiva Bandhanan Mrityurmukshiyamamritat. Om Harim Baglamukhi Hum Pat Swaha. Om Harim Baglamukhi Hum Pat Swaha. Om Harim Baglamukhi Hum Pat Swaha. Om Shri Gurudev Datta. Om Shri Gurudev Datta. Om Shri Gurudev Datta. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Para Brahmane Namah. Om Para Brahmane Namah. Om Para Brahmane Namah. Om Para Brahmaya Vedmahi Shiva Tattvaya Dhimahi Tano Mohan Prachodayat. Jai Mohanji once again. Thank you everybody for joining. So today I'm going to be sharing my Navaratri experience with you all. I think the first experience or that I'd like to share is before Navaratri even started. I was very anxious, as well as excuse me, my anxiety kicked in because I was a scatterbrain at the time. I was worried about what people would think. Who is this chick, Sonakshi? And it didn't sit well with me because I don't know. I guess it was just me being all worried and fearful and operating on at that level for the time. And then preparations for Navaratri started, and none of that mattered because the goal was to serve in more than one way. Serve mother, serve Baba, serve devotees, everybody, every single person, be it online or be it present at the ashram. That's all that mattered thereafter. So Swamiji had a talk with us. It was along the lines of one form of sadhana is to serve the devotees of Mother and Baba. And that stuck with me throughout Navaratri because there were times where I felt like throwing the towel in. There were times where, again, I got extremely anxious, where I felt as if I didn't know what I was doing or whether what I was doing was good enough. That rang on my head quite a bit. Excuse me. And it's like just remembering those words, serving Baba's and Mother's devotees is a form of sadhana, and that is what would make them happy. That is what helped me through Navaratri. It being my first time celebrating and observing Navaratri with the Mohanji Dattatapovan Ashram, I didn't know what to expect or whether to expect anything. All I know is that I needed to take photos and set up online. And I didn't know what I was doing at times, because it was just, I'm a little OCD when it comes to things, and a perfectionist. So if it's not done a certain way, and if I felt that it could have been done better, there in my head the ball has dropped, and that was very tough for me to deal with. Hence, I'm saying during that time I was a scatterbrain. um, the Durga Saptasati reading in the morning. So my Ishtadev is Shiva, and next to Shiva is Durga for me. And just reading the Durga Saptasati every morning, being there with the girls, with Swami, Aj, the boys, it was something else. It was honestly a privilege. Most times it felt as if we were zoned out, as if I was zoned out, as if I wasn't really there. I was like dreaming. Um, and yeah, then Navaratri started. Our Navaratri was 11 days, because we did the day before, where we did Ganesha Puja and Guru Puja, which was very, 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 it was amazing to experience. um, so I'm going to jump to Prathangira Homa, because there are experiences in between. But Navaratri is a bit of a blank, because it's like all that we were doing was just moving through each and every day. The only thing you could do was, okay, fine, this is mother, we have to do whatever needs to be done to make this happen, so her devotees are comfortable, so that she is comfortable, so that Baba is comfortable. And we just soldiered on through it. So going to Prathangira Homa, that was, I think, where it was amplified for me quite a bit, because I was in a space where I didn't know a lot of people. At the time, you think that, okay, fine, that shouldn't matter. But, when you in such an energy space, all of your insecurities and whatever else churning happens. In other words, if that's the correct way to put it. And it was just like, didn't know a lot of people, and all I could do was just be there and be present in the moment and try to focus, which was very, very hard. Again, I mean, it was my first time with the ashram experiencing Navaratri. So I guess it's where I needed to be and what I needed to go through. And I think for me, the last aspect, I think I'm beating Yeti on his time. Because the last aspect that I'd like to share with you all is the 11th day of Navaratri, right? So this started off as a joke, as something that we laughed about. We spoke about it, Swamiji spoke about it a little in Suvarna's experience sharing. But I'm just going to go through it again, because this is literally something that I live by today, even though it started off as a joke. Well, nothing is really a joke when Swamiji says it. So there was a post on Facebook of a conversation that took place between Swamiji and one of his friends a few years ago. And it was about, Swamiji's friend asked him, which is the most important day of Navaratri? And then Swamiji responded to his friend and said, it's the 11th day of Navaratri. And his friend giggled, and he was like, for the first time, I think I know a little bit more than you about this now. And he was proud. And then Swamiji, being Swamiji, explained why. Why is the 11th day the most important day? And Swamiji went on to explain that during the 10, again, this was covered in what Suvarna had spoken about, during those 10 days, there was minimal sleep, one meal a day, working, doing what needed to be done, supporting and serving as and where we could, and just moving through all of that, not feeling exhausted, or just remembering that we need to serve mother. And sorry, I'm a little nervous. So it was yeah, Swamiji explained that the 11th day is the day that you decide if you're going to just continue as per normal. You go have a feast, you break your fast, or whatever else comes with it, or are you going to continue in the consciousness that you did during those days of Navaratri? The choice is up to us. And the reason I'm speaking about this now is because for me personally, that is what stood out. Because it's like every day after since Navaratri till now that I sit here as well, I see it being the 11th day, because it's like how you treat people, um, what you're saying, whether the intention is good or not, how would it make the next person feel, which is very important, very, very important. The type of food you put into your body, the type of energy, your thoughts, the type of energy your thoughts generate as well. So for me, that was the highlight of Navaratri, just remembering that if you can do it for that space of time, try and do it for your life. Be that person, be that consciousness, because that's what our tradition teaches us as well, right? Next thing you know, I'm standing there just watching, and then Swamiji looks at me and he's like, come. And I was flabbergasted because I didn't know what, again, it was like not knowing what was happening. Um, and what I felt during that time was great. Grateful and nothing. When I say nothing, it's not that I didn't feel anything towards mother. There was a lot of love and gratitude towards mother. But that entire scattered brain and that mind that I was talking about, it no longer existed. It was no longer there. It was just, it was, yeah, it was just there. So